All right, it's time to check out the H. Moser. Here we go. We're just going to get into it. Beautiful watch, first of all. Big thanks to Jon and the whole crew at Exquisite Timepieces for sending this over. They're down in Naples, Florida, but you can get a hold of them. You can do online purchasing. You can talk to the salespeople directly. There's even like a chat they offer on their website. But I'm going to provide to you down in the description a direct contact link to Jon so you can tell him I sent you. If you're looking at H. Moser or any of the other Exquisite timepieces they carry or brands, over 60 brands or authorized dealers for, plus a massive collection of pre-owned watches for your liking. But let's talk about this guy. This is the Pioneer Center Seconds is what they call it. So simple three-handed, no date, elegant watch is what we're dealing with here. They also offer a 40 millimeter version case now. I looked on their website, and this is the 43 millimeter. It's, I think, a touch under 43, but it's basically 43. So the case on this is actually 43 millimeter wide, 42.8, something like that. The lug to lug is a 50.8 millimeter, nice curve down and nice dimension to the side profile of the case. And you might notice there's a massive domed crystal on this. And at pretty much every angle except for that angle, it all but disappears. And that's because of the great anti-reflective coating put on this thing. And I literally, until I was going to do the measurements, I did not notice that crystal until that angle right there. It is so good. And it makes the dial so clear to see. But with the domed sapphire crystal, it is 14.5 millimeter thick. Without it, I mean, it's much thinner. That's a lot of the thickness right there. So it doesn't really wear like a 14.5 millimeter thick watch is my whole point of all that. 22 millimeter lug width comes on this excellent rubber strap that also is curved to match the case. And you have a 6.6 millimeter crown. It is a push-pull crown, and to operate it is, it's a screw-down crown rather. But to operate it is extremely pleasurable. It has a nice pop to it, and it has an insane amount of grip. It's so simple, it would appear, to make that happen, but yet it must be complicated because pretty much everything on this watch makes you kind of think that there's more to it than just the simplicity that you might first have at glance. Because there's so much little fine detail work that, for the most part, maybe we take for granted. I mean, once you see the price point on these, maybe you won't. But there's a lot going on with these. And I'm probably not qualified. I'm definitely not qualified to speak on it. But I'm going to do my best. But you can see on the case there, excellent finishing. You can see reflections everywhere off that case. And even this detail in there is, it has a texture to it, but it's smooth enough where you're not going to have to worry about like debris and everything getting caught in there. Like, it's not like I'm going to be a DNA collector, you know what I mean? And then you flip it over, and behind that sapphire display crystal, you have a very, very nice looking, well thought out in-house movement. This is the HMC 200. It has 72-hour power reserve, 27 joules, and it beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour. But the attention to detail on this thing, like the shapes, I mean, definitely the automatic rotor, the way they constructed it and the way they placed it into the movement, allows the movement to get really close to that crystal and also be extremely visible from most angles because you have that wide opening and thin architecture of that rotor assembly. But there's a quick look at it. Just a fantastic looking movement, and like I said, completely in-house, to the point where, I mean, they even like construct like the hairspring and all that stuff. And then on this side, when you look at the dial, there's a few different dial colors you can go with. This one's a nice red, kind of wine red color, and very dynamic. I took it outside for some natural light shots. I typically don't do that for watches, but I felt this one absolutely needed it. I'm going to put that at the end of the video rather than a lume shot. You're going to have that outside natural light shot, and you're going to see how mesmerizing this thing is in the natural light. It's already really good even in low light situations or studio light. I mean, look at the sharpness on that handset and those markers. It is just absolute perfection. Price point on this thing, I mean, this is one of the more affordable models, I believe, from the lineup. I mean, you're still over $14,000. That's for, you know, brand new authorized dealer. And maybe at some point, if I go on scene, maybe I'll do a quick video of like, because they have some tourbillons, they have a bunch of other models that like they push over the six-figure mark. And those things are just, you know, I'm sure mesmerizing. This one's already pretty fantastic. So luxury watches, you know, can you justify the prices? No. But because it's a luxury item and you can't justify the prices, that kind of like sets the tone for the crazy part about this too is you look at this watch and you don't think like a regular wearing sport type watch, but then when you put it on wrist paired up with this rubber strap, you're like, yeah, I could straight up wear this watch. Like, this feels like it could be an everyday wear watch, whether it's the 43 or the 40. This 43 is incredibly comfortable on wrist. The 40 might seem too small. I paid for a lot of dial here. I want the whole thing. This rubber strap is a great pairing with it, and the buckle and tang for it. I'm being very cautious here not to damage this thing, drop it. But anyway, there's the quick look at it. I am going to give it a quick blast with the UV light. I believe there's some lume on the hour, minute, and on the perimeter of the markers. And then I'll close out after this with that outside shot. But there you go. You can see not only is it elegant, but it's practical as well. With the strap, with the visibility of it, low light conditions and no light conditions, it's still a watch, guys. Yes, it's a luxury watch. Yes, it looks very high-end dress-like, but it's also a watch. You could wear it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.